There's a promo piece running on TV these days for a new series that starts tomorrow called Bel Air. I have no idea what it's about, but this character declares, "Life is a series of choices. You set your own rules." In other words, rules don't apply to me, only to others. And every time that ad plays, my teeth grit all on their own, because the rules are already set. Deciding to break them is one's own decision. We can make rules for ourselves that fall within the broader guidelines of rules set by faith or government or courts. But when we set our boundaries beyond those, we risk alienation or expulsion from our faith or community, or charges from the state. So yes, life is a series of choices. Choices that are wisely made within the boundaries that our society has set down for its citizens to live within. Deciding that our wisdom is greater than the common rules should take some thought and consideration of the consequences. Because when we decide to act outside of the law, we become outlaws, and consequences often follow that decision. Today, even living within the rules can result in severe consequences. So we choose which rules to follow. Free speech is not at all free. Some well-known people pay an enormous price for speaking the truth as they see it, with other people deciding what free speech is acceptable. An Alberta professor, Dr. Frances Widdowson, who has spent her career researching the problems of Canada's First Nations, was fired from Calgary's Mount Royal University and banned from speaking at Alberta's University of Lethbridge because the woke mob finds her thoughts too upsetting to be heard. No one was making anyone listen to her. Nothing she had to say was compulsory for any degree. But her talk might have caused some listeners to consider what she had to say, and that was in conflict with the politically correct position on the victimhood of Canada's first settlers. Much like Dr. Jordan Peterson, formerly a professor of psychology at the University of Toronto, fired for his positions on the issues championed by the woke folk. Or Josh Alexander, a student at St. Joseph's Catholic School in Renfrew, suspended for arguing that there were only two genders and that choosing otherwise doesn't trump biology. Now, this is a Catholic school, and he is speaking Catholic theology. But to return to school, he has to agree to various restrictions on free speech and be unable to attend classes where two transgender students would be present because of their disapproval of his beliefs. On attempting to return, the police were called and he was charged with trespassing. So much for educational institutions being a bastion for debate and free speech. It would appear that Canadians and many others have become incredibly weak souls in need of pampering to protect them from the realities of life or the ideas they find unpalatable. When I listen to the woke folk demanding that words not be spoken that can hurt another's feelings, or that challenge their beliefs, or disrupt their worldview, I am appalled, because their saying such things hurts my feelings, challenges my beliefs, and disrupts my worldview, and they don't seem to care. Now, how cruel is that? Where do I go to voice my pain and have them erased from the internet, condemned, and held up to public opprobrium? Well, why does it make sense to work one way and not the other? Why do those who cancel others not face the same consequences? And why do those who worry about the feelings of some have no conscience when it comes to hurting those who differ with their views of the world? The only way problems are solved is when people of good intent can openly discuss their perspectives on the issue. But they have to be able to do that without putting their profession or occupation at risk. We do not need public gatekeepers protecting some, but not others. We need to respect each other enough to allow them to have their own perspectives on everything from religion to politics to love, as long as the human rights of another are not transgressed. And human rights do not include the right not to be offended or have one's feelings hurt. Fortunately, because that would silence virtually everyone. know that on occasion I have offended some with the things I've shared on these thoughts. I know because you've told me, which let us talk about our differing views. On some things we've found common ground. On others, we have agreed to disagree. But it's never come to the point that I was asked to stop sending my thoughts to them. And I have learned and have often returned to such ideas with a new outlook. Not necessarily having abandoned my initial concerns, but have modified them with new information and perspectives. There is nothing I enjoy more than that. And as one listener wrote last week, you can argue with the best of them. You always could argue a point, any point, better than the rest. I think you enjoyed the argument more than the actual truth factor of your position. Well, I do love the debate or the rant, as he referred to our discussions. What I love is the sharing of ideas, learning, getting to know more about just about anything. And best of all, really getting to know other people, what's important to them, and how they think. But we all have to keep trying and speaking out and engaging others and being engaged by them. So may it be. Amen. Do have a great week and limit your law breaking to putting your elbows on the table and then charge ahead, free to speak your mind wherever life's challenges lead you.